Atticus, you kind of came into the fold, I believe, almost a decade ago, working on the soundtrack stuff. How did you guys meet? Where did this genesis?
It was actually longer. It was almost 2 decades ago.
Really?
Sadly. I mean, not sad in terms of the work, but in one's age. I think 2002.
Wow.
So I was in a band that was signed to Trent's label, 12 Rounds, and then we went to New Orleans to try and finish a record that still isn't quite finished. And then we met there and almost immediately started working together. And the first Nails record I worked on was with Teeth.
Do you guys have your separate lanes of expertise, or are your roles interchangeable in how you work together?
They're definitely not interchangeable, and over time I think they've developed. But certainly my world is more toward the programming side, I suppose. Certainly I don't have Trent's melodic grasp. But I think it's become life, you know. And like what Trent was talking about at the beginning, or going back to your first question, we're in the same room every day, in the same clothes, eating from the same restaurants, but have been able to keep it feeling, at least for me, incredibly exciting. And I think part of that is this concept of being able to work. When you said how do you manage the different things, that having a number of things has actually become an asset. And I think in terms of the EPs, some of it is intense, and to be able to dive deep and then come out and take some air on something else, you know, using a different part of the brain, I feel has allowed, you know, a focus that feels, you know, I never feel bored, and to me music is at least partly about engagement. And this last couple of years, it's been full engagement.
Yeah. What I found is, you know, the way we work together is we're close friends. We're of a similar age. Our days are spent kind of trying to figure out life and process life, and the fact that we're also making music, it all becomes one thing where we can kind of make sense. It's therapy. It's also a way of trying to come to terms with a world that's makes less sense, it seems, as the days go on. And it's a reminder of why we're doing this, what we're trying to get out of music, what we think music's role is, what the purity of trying to find the truth of creating the truest form of what we have to say, you know, for the right reasons, which is, for us, expression. It's not commercial success or trying to follow a trend or anything like that, but it's a way to kind of make everything make sense. And I'm more of the one that plays things, but Atticus has tremendous taste, and he's a great arranger, so it frees me up to stay at a kind of almost subconscious level where I can follow impulse and instinct, and I don't have to think about what take was better or does that piece go with that. I can leave the room after playing for an hour,
right,
come back half an hour later, and it sounds better than when I left, and now I'm ready to go. And
you're inspired to do something else. Yeah,
the momentum I found to be invaluable. The camaraderie, the connectedness. You know, we both kind of lead isolated lives outside our families, and it's a way to kind of just sort through, you know, what in the hell is going on, and turning it into something that has beauty. Taking on different projects, whether it be scores, prep for live band, maybe less so, but Nine Inch Nails records. It allows us to kind of go deep into a cave, knowing that, hey, at the end of this week, we're going to go into a different cave. Right. And for a minute, it's going to be fresh air for a second, you know, and it's become something we've stumbled into realizing is a very valuable creative. It just keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting.
Is it hard to switch those hats to go like, all right, now we're scoring, and now we're working on a Nine Inch Nails project? Just
I'll tell you what we found is good. Say, deep into Nine Inch Nails project where every decision is us, from the direction to the statement. Is this even, or should we be going down this road? Is this the right hi-hat sound? Is there too much reverb? Is the lyrics good or bad? Are we saying this right? How do we fit into the world? Is it relevant? Switching to the next week to working on a film, say, where someone else has made those decisions, and now we're in service to this to do the best job we can to help execute and make that vision as good as it can be. That's a welcome change.
Right.
It's kind of nice to not be the guy steering the ship, but how can I make the ship get there the best way it can? How
Right.
can I make it better in a support role that's by no means, we don't look at that as a sacrifice of power. That's a fun way to work as well, that complements the other thing. And at times it can make you excited to get back to the thing that you're in control of, but other times it's nice to play that role. It's been years since I'd been
sure
taking direction.
I mean, you started completely in control with Pretty Hate Machine, where you kind of did it all.
I couldn't find an Atticus back then,
Right.
So it's either not going to happen or just man up and figure it out. And in my mind, I wanted it to be, I wanted 3 other guys, and we're going to be a band, and we're going to whatever.
You got it
Wasn't
done.
the case.